Good morning to one and all present here. I'm Karna and an investment in knowledge always interests. It is time to start something new and trust the magic of beginnings. A very happy morning to one and all present here. Welcome you all on this knowledgeable endeavor.
Every person needs guidance and inspiration. You involve in a new future path of your life. Now I would like Ms. Ranjini Diawar to take up the invitation.
गणपतिं मनसामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि वसिष्ठवामदेवादिवन्दिताः महादेवसुतं महादेवसुतं गुरुगुहनुतं मारकोटिप्रकाशं शान्तं महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं मूषिकवाहनमोदकप्रियं महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि वसिष्ठवामदेवादिवन्दित महागणपतिम्
Thank you, Ranjini, for performance. Light is a symbol of brightness and prosperity. Expels the darkness of night. Similarly, blessings in our lives happen. Now, I would like to call upon our principal, Dr. D. Vasu, and our chief guest, Professor R. Lakshminarayanan, with few participants to light up the light.
Could I request a couple of participants to join, please? Vinod sir. Vinod sir.
Thank you. May the light illuminate your heart and every day of the year.
I nurture was established in 9 and is a pioneer in career education in India. I nurture industry relevant full-time courses at the undergraduate levels in the fast-growing sectors of in active association with reputed universities and autonomous institutions and colleges. Edutesta is an academic management company. They collaborate with institutions of repute offer and academic education services from application to alumni and also offer executive education courses. 1947 was founded in the year 2003 by the entrepreneur Mr. Jain with the sole idea of bringing the best authentic vegetarian Indian food. It is a JGI venture and with the guidance of Dr. Chenraj Royton, successfully spreading its legacy across Bangalore.
The sponsors. The School of Commerce Studies essential leadership of our beloved principal, Dr. B. A. Wad. It's my privilege to invite him on the stage to address the
Review. Signatories as Narayan, Chief Learning Officer, I nurture solutions, education solutions. Then it also plays on record support of our chairman, Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Dean Dr. Ishwan Iyer, and I nurture solutions for giving this opportunity for us to organize such a wonderful thought into a reality. The management development program completely this thought I would go to Dr. Vinod Murthy and his team for this happen. It is a 6 months old thought just realized today. Here I would like to thank Vinod sir, Abhishek, Naveen, and Madhuri ma'am for daily discussing about how to plan this event. And today it's a reality. Well, I've missed out anybody's name. But this program, first time in the university, they wanted to launch in a big scale. And I would again congratulate the entire team. The entire program 3 days will definitely help you understand congratulate every participant of it. It is just a beginning. You would be organizing more such programs on a regular basis and for release to something like this on a large scale. Here, I would also acknowledge Manoja and Sujay Nair for being part of the function. And 3 days will be the best take home for thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to discuss career in retail and pharma. At HUL, he has worked on brands like Sir, Rin, Wheel, Vim, Lifebuoy, Lux, Rexona, and others. At International Best Boards, he launched several new brands as well as extensions of existing brands like or OTC brands and spearheaded the company's forays into personal care through toilet soaps and shampoos. Chennai as head the he worked across categories like personal care, cycles, beverages, retail, and many more. Then stint at DD Mundra Communications, where he roles Vice President South, Chief Operating Officer, finally CEO Mundra Marketing Services. He had been director on for over a decade by consumer products, Jyoti Fabric Care, Jyoti Labs. So we would like you to speak a few words on this occasion.
Everybody. You don't have to be so respectful. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I could almost hear the audience saying, why is this guy being asked to speak on thought when he does not seem to have a clue about analytics or statistics or IT or any of these subjects? That's an IIT, and that's right. I must clarify that also. I passed IIT and I graduated from IIT when the competition was much less. So please don't attribute any levels of brilliance just because and I am absolutely a common, I would still say, a student even today. I suspect our managing director gave me the designation officer. He was looking around for the person who has to learn the most, and he said that I'm chief learning officer. We know, and Dr. You have to say a few words. I said, why me? R and Python. Incidentally, one of you has to explain brand names are found out. And Lakshmi Narayan and R, and it's me. Someone has to explain to me the rationale. We say a few words. Immediate question was, but why me? Dr. Vinod quoted a lovely incident from Mahabharata. Dr. Vinod believes analytics began with Mahabharata, and I'll show you some samples of that. There is a very interesting exchange between Sri Krishna and Sahadev for the war, and people had to give their opinion on strategy. And Sri Krishna asked Sahadev, one of the wisest people in Mahabharata, saying, "Who should speak?" And Sahadev's answer was the person who will speak first, and that explains why is really share with you completely common what an average human being which would have as thought area of analytics and the tools associated. Kick off quickly. Now this technology always fools around with me, so it's Windows P, right? To get the slides back. I was told just Windows. When you press it, it comes. Okay, still need somebody's password. Oh, incidentally, just to not to miss this I have done all that preparation for today's speech. There's a fair amount of, incidentally, I found some of the fascinating material on YouTube. So let me kick off. How do I go to slideshow? No, I need to go to slideshow. I don't want all this. Okay. Still don't want this. I just want slideshow. What do I do? I'm not making myself clear. I just want just the slideshow. Tell you what, just leave it. I'll use this one. It's very strange. Let me try once again.
Sir, over here slideshow will come and in your
In mine it doesn't. As long as that works, I'm happy. I always start workshops or management development programs with once again saying a deeply grateful thank you to Dr. Vasu and Jain University. Almost exactly 5 years ago, when we started working together, Dr. Vasu and another gentleman that I'm sure you will meet, called Dr. Iyer, did what you saw at the, which is Dr. Vasu carefully held my hands and we lit the lamp together. Philosophically, that's what he's been doing for the last 5 years. I nurture myself members into every step of how to convert our students with deployability or employability into an academic curriculum, into pedagogy, having the teachers to do that, assess it at regular intervals that was required to guide the process. Once again, thank you very much, sir. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it. And do convey our gratitude to Dr. Iyer and Chairman. This gentleman is called Ray Kurzweil. My sincere request would be to recite as well as another love singularity.com. Singularity, as I'm sure, is when machines and human beings intersect in terms of their inherent learning. It's believed that beyond that, machines will grow faster. So this really says most these are what are known as future speed. Machine that mirrors the evolution of humans. Ultimately, however, and the next interesting word, self-improving machines will evolve beyond humans' ability to control or even understand them. And if you go online, there are people like Stephen Hawking and Elon Musk and others who say that perhaps we should stop at some point of time to think like human beings. Obviously, the common sense question is species, and we are all carbon-based. We took over 250,000 years to evolve a silicon-based species, which is really computers and analytics and so on. They took just a few decades to and are able to today take on Gary Kasparov in the recent example where the Alphabet computer, which took Go champion on a one-on-one. If you have the time, do visit TED.com. Makes one of the finest presentations on human machines. Answer to this is very believe that machines have access to large amounts of data that have accelerated their evolution. While I would agree with this, I want to leave you behind with a thought that contradicts this. Sorry. It's not something new. Some of these tools and techniques are just 10 years or 5 years old. The earliest examples are probably 5,000 years old. We human beings used to collect as early as 5,000, 8,000 years ago. Prehistoric data storage and diggings that are available. The old Paleolithic tribes, which are supposed to be one of the human community living, would mark notches into sticks or bones to keep track, compare to carry out rudimentary calculations, including supplies would last. Very important decision at that point of time. All of us are familiar with this. Generation started learning arithmetic on this. Again, if you see on WhatsApp, there's a lovely video of a young girl who's got an old phone. And she's saying, how do I get WhatsApp and Snapchat and everything else on it? People just don't understand some of these tools. This is a fascinating Wikipedia article that you must read. Again, people assume that we've collected knowledge, we've categorized it and cataloged it only in the last 100 or 200 years. This is the Library of Alexandria. So imagine the vision who said it's important to collect all published data worldwide. Of the Library of Alexandria was to have a copy of every book or manuscript ever published. So they have even today papyrus, they have what called OLEC, which is on palmyra leaves. They have every other form of collection of knowledge. Computers, again, we Watson and say 50 years, 70 years ago, the earliest CPU had 30 interlocking bronze had been designed for astrological purposes and tracking the cycle. We were recently in the US, and if you have an opportunity, there is a lovely observatory in Los Angeles where they have even today samples, working models of how 8,000 years ago movement of planets, as accurate as anything that computers can do today. The first recorded statistical data analysis, 3, and the precursor to what is known as IBM, which interestingly has reported its 23rd quarterly decline in performance. 1881, a young engineer that would collate, calculate, and spew out data, which I think is what a common man understands. I'm sure all of you are familiar with this. I'll run through this faster, and more important, spend a couple of years as a strategic manager. Descriptive, diagnostic, prescriptive, and predictor. Familiar with that, therefore I'm not going to spend time. This is an interesting slide, and I want to share one recent book by Thomas Davenport. This is a presentation of what I have shown you in the previous 4 slides, but the one that makes it even more interesting for me is this. So if you look at the x-axis, you have the past, present, and the future. Info and insight. So if it's past info, it really deals with what happened as reporting in management. If it's a past and it's an insight, how and why did it happen? If it's the present, info, what is happening, therefore alerts and reports. Insight, what is the next best action, therefore the beginnings of recommendation. Future, what is likely to happen or what will happen, which is nothing but extrapolation, and what's the best that can happen, which is a combination of modeling, simulation, and prediction, therefore. So I find that than this, but it's up to you. You are the gurus. Few slides from a human perspective, because whenever we look at data, computing, analytics, there is a temptation to get seduced into toolkits. get seduced into terabytes and zettabytes of data and computing power from a human angle. And in that regard, I would strongly recommend this book. We just picked it up recently called Small Data. Very interesting author who combines marketing, brand, human site, and psychology called Martin Lindstrom. Small Data. I would urge you to pick it up. Can analytics be shaped by actions, which are shaped by decisions, are shaped by insights, which are driven by analysis fed by information, which is nothing but meaningful data. And therefore, this author leaves this thought with us, helps us to convert data to meaningful information, timely and corrective actions to guide us on the journey from what could be a chance-based destiny, choice-based destiny. The applications of what you're going to be studying, they are really all about helping better quality decisions, which are nothing but a more mature exercising of choices. Whether clinical, retail, I don't need it. I do want to share one last slide stolen from Guide. So, if you remember this slide which we had seen, and then therefore will machines take over. The reason why someone like Elon Musk, who's 3 companies, and the other Hyperloop, and the third exploration into Mars. Who is considered one of the greatest as we have warned us about the evolution of machines to take over. Gary Kasparov. Machines can handle only humans have purpose. The why, machines have objectivity, can have passion. And I love on somebody's $1 million, right, that we go into storms. And the article says very simply why we do that. The best way to predict your future is to create it. So I go back to where I started. Thank you once again. I hope you have a wonderful 3 days. This very packed session. I can only request the organizer it once in a while, or maybe have coffee served in the room. Really, and you have some gurus. Enjoy, learn. Very warm wishes of this one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful insights. Now, I would like to request our principal, Dr. B. Vasu, to hand over appreciation. Technology and business are becoming inextricably interwoven. I don't think anybody can talk meaningfully about one without talking about the other. I would like to call upon Rahul BN to introduce Mr. Jain now.
Good morning, everyone. Introduce myself, Rahul Jain. I'm here to brief introduction about Mr. Jain to India from engineering to media. Varied and interesting upbringing and education have served load to his career profile. He was an editor in of Agma Interactive as well as founder and director of ESA. He continued continues to be mentor for both organizations. Nayar's work experience is started with a high-profile editorial position at India media companies, 9.9 Media and Jasubai Digital Media, where he served as editorial managing CIO channel community and their B2B portfolios. Nair has worked extensively in the field of IT across the Middle East, US, and Europe. He has held executive position in both house and excels in technology and media. His interest in journalism shift from technology to media, and he has been key in introducing the first media CIO community in India. Nair is computer science university and certification from various academic institutions. After moving to India, launched CIO magazine. The CTO held over 10 magazines and 5 online media. Jasubai Digital Media and 9.9 Media, each of IT industry. Helped and continued Bollywood celebrities on their digital and social strategy. Worked as CMO at and cyber security companies into consulting and awareness and consult a few startup companies and an education program.
Hi, good morning. I'm a little uncomfortable without this. I hope that's okay. I'd like to thank Dr. Vasu, Jain University. Opportunity. It's great to meet all of you, and it's to go after Ellen sir on any presentation. It could be on machine learning. It could be on strategies which have not been created yet. Right? Why am I here? Thank you for calling me here. I'm supposed to give an overview of analytics, data science, and I'm going to try doing that. I'm not really well prepared, but I'm prepared with my non-preparedness of it. I want to give an example of our buying process. How we used to buy things in the 1990s, right? We all know. I mean, of course, some of you, right? No, it didn't mean wrong. So how do we buy? Pamphlets, or we see a print advertisement, right? Or we see a TV commercial, right? And we see a product or a promotion of a product, right? And then we go to a store, the product. We need touch and feel, right? And then we compare the prices of various products that we see. Then yes, let's figure out what's happening today. Today what happens is we get an SMS or a call or any other social media message about a promotion that's probably going to expire just in 2 hours, right? We immediately go onto a mobile device. We go to Amazon or Flipkart or Jabong or any of those e-commerce sites. I mean, go there and we look at products. We compare. We go to other sites and we compare these products for their prices. Consumer feedback. Then we take a buy decision. So what has happened in the last 20 years or 20 plus years. In that, just the buying decision.
The platform has changed.
Has changed, okay? Anything else? Behavior has changed. Right. Platform has changed. Behavior has changed.
The customer has a role to play.
Sorry, one second.
Process of taking decision.
No, I see a product and I buy it. That much is right. That much is the same. Steps have changed.
The consumer has a role to play. If there are not many likes, the product may not sell.
Perfect.
Options are more.
Options are more.
Review process.
But what is most importantly, number of steps. Right? But that is the power of something called SMAC. What's SMAC? Yes, that's it. What is it? What's SMAC? Social, mobile, and cloud. Thank you, ma'am. And what's SMACI? Not me, right? No. It's I, not IQ. IoT. But we're not going to come to that, okay? SMAC has changed the way we live. Right? So mobile, analytics, and cloud we live. That's exactly what happened to buying. What happened was communication of motion is the S in SMAC. Proliferation of social media networks which can that communicate, right? Understanding based on buyer psyche using analytics is the A in SMAC. Provide products or services on a cloud-based environment, an e-commerce website of SMAC, right? And finally, at the comfort and convenience of the buyer, offering products, being able to compare is the M. Yes, that's what SMAC did to us. So SMAC is a disruptive force across all business. Am I louder? It's good. It's okay. All right. And it's changing the world. And I want to say it's going to make the world a better place, right? I believe, and I think a lot of people in the analytics world believe, and it truly is, analytics in SMAC is the cornerstone because social, cloud, and mobile are enablers of business, enablers of life-changing strategies, enablers of next strategy in next level of business. And analytics is actually what really turns your business, which a data-driven approach, right, to maximize, understand output and results within their industry, which can actually give you a competitive advantage for that business, right? And I want to show you a video by this gentleman, Kenneth Kukia. He's a data expert and a data scientist. I need that cable, please. Okay.
We are just at the outset of the big data era. In the future, all businesses are going to try to understand how they can become a platform for the collection and the analysis of data, and will be optimizing everything we do in society by taking more information and learning from it. Everything will be quantified automatically at every moment. Things that we never could even imagine collecting information on before, we will now collect. In that data that is latent, a sort of new economic input, a new raw material of business. So there's lots of technology is promising is an area of art called machine learning. The computer can make predictions or make decisions. It can implicitly learn from a large body of information what to do. The implication for business is huge in terms of business strategy. A manager has to make a decision using imperfect information, and an algorithm is going to do better because it can crunch more data. What we're talking about here is a degree of clairvoyance about how the world is working, because big data can spot trends that we could never spot before. We may learn that there's signals that best predict someone is actually going to repay a loan or get into a car accident that have nothing to do with that actual activity. We have actually already seen big data change the world of business. Media companies are getting better at throwing in recommendations that if you've read one article, you're likely to read another article. Banks are getting good at saying that if you bought one commercial product, you're probably going to buy this other financial product as well. This idea of learning at scale, at the population scale, what people like, and making predictions down to the level of the individual, their individual data, their surfing behavior, their biochemistry, their zip code, what they're likely to do, means that we're getting into an economy of prediction. We're getting into a universe in which we will forecast everything, and these forecasts will be uncannily accurate. We're going to transform retailing, education, manufacturing. The potential in the area of energy is huge. Exploration is critical, and that's an information problem. Computers and AI love information problems. In healthcare, we'll see the biggest improvement if we tell the computer, you figure out what best predicts cancer, not us. We can identify the cancer when it's the size of a grain of sand and not when it's the size of a golf ball. With big data, we can get rid of that problem of cross-generational transfer of knowledge. The knowledge is always being accreted, it's always accumulating in the algorithm so that decisions are always going to be improving. It's day one of the big data era. When we look ahead, economies are going to become a lot more productive, and we're going to understand our humanity even better. In everything that gets touched by data, we will be improving how we live.
And Alger, for over 50 years, we've...
Kenneth actually talked about growth in data. It's actually exponential growth in data. I'll give you a case in point about growth in data. You've all seen going to the bank and taking money out of the bank. Yeah? So typically, let's say about 10 years back, you go to a bank, you want to take 1,000 rupees out of your account. What are the steps that you would take? Fill in the challan? Yes, sir. But why we talk about that? Let's see the number of transactions. You fill in the challan, you give the challan to the cashier or the bank officer. Transaction one, right? There's something called a 3-eye concept in the bank. 3 people have to see that same transaction and approve that, right? So let's call it three more transactions, right? It gets approved, goes to the cashier hands out the cash to you. How many transactions? 1. What happened to these transactions in the era of an ATM card? 1 transaction? Let's count, right? You go to an ATM machine, right? You take out a card, ATM card, right? You put that card into the ATM machine. First, it takes that card, data that's read from that card, it goes to an ATM switch, transaction 1. It goes to a core banking application, transaction 2, right? It checks something there. It gives that information back to the ATM switch, transaction 3. ATM switch gives the transaction back to the ATM, transaction 4. And then it says, okay, Bhagat, this is an ATM card. Right? 4 transactions. Then you say, I want 1,000 rupees. Core banking application, back to ATM switch, back to ATM. Yes, you have money in your account. What do you want to do? Withdraw. ATM switch, see, core banking application, ATM switch, ATM. 12 transactions. Right? After that, do you want to say, do you want to do something more? Marketing. Again, that many transactions. What happened to the number of transactions? Increased. Right? Now, with regulation, each of these transactions have to be saved anywhere from 7 years to 15 years or 20 years, depending on which country you are. Right? The number of transactions every day has exponentially increased. That is why the amount of data that's available around the world, right, has blown out of proportion. Talking about megabytes and gigabytes that people today, we're talking about petabytes. You can see, everybody's heard of more. Yes. More. In a board, okay, will double every 18 months. Law was out of the window 10 years back. Not even looking at transistors. We're looking, right? In the world of quantum computing, it's micro, you cannot even see the computing device, right? You need a microscope to see the computing device, and you're not talking about bits, you're talking about qubits. Data in multiple levels. You're talking about binary, zeros and ones, right? Here we're not talking binary. You can have multiple states, and at multiple states, you can store data in the same plane, right? So the amount of data that can be stored, amount of data that can be churned in the environment, right, has exponentially increased in the last 10 years, right? I'll give you another example of coming back to analytics and why analytics play such a big role, right, in things that we do on a daily basis. Everybody heard of Dabawalas? Yeah? What is analytics in it? The guy who is delivering Dappa, okay, analytics, he doesn't know A. He's 8th standard fail, right? Yes? There's analytics in it. Any idea? Sorry? So even the top guy doesn't know analytics. He doesn't know how to do it. Nobody knows analytics. He got his doctorate degree with honorary. Analytics, anybody? Dabbawala? Let's figure out. What happens in Mumbai Dabbawala? Right? Your first Dabbawala collects the lunch first from the home, from the house, right? Marks it with a unique code, which looks something like this. Right? It's got station code, it's got something which only they will understand, right? And then each of them meet at a designated place. These boxes are grouped, they're put into local train, Mumbai local train, right? The second Dabbawala marks the carriage to represent the destination. Yes? These markings at the destination point is taken by a different Dabbawala, right? Along with the Dabbas, right? A fourth one picks it up, gives it to the husband who wants to have lunch. Yes? Let's look at what Pawan said.
Friends, everybody, good evening. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you,
Dr. Pawan,
PDS, SSM, giving opportunity on the Dabbawala. For the first time in my life, after 550 sessions, I am delivering first time in 18 minutes. Completed.
I'm not going to show the entire.
Friends, as far as Mumbai Dabbawala are concerned, in Mumbai, these people are excellent. I am going to speak about the story. Believe me, you will learn lot, provided you must have a passion to listen to them and to follow them, how they are working in Mumbai. Friends. People believe that Dabbawalas means they are caterers. Let me tell you, Dabbawalas are not caterers. Tiffin is yours and food content in this is also yours. What we are doing in Mumbai, we are delivering your tiffin from your home to workplace before lunchtime. Over, we will deliver empty tiffin in the evening at home on the same day. It means we are doing 2 deliveries in a day. Friends, in Mumbai, you cannot carry tiffin yourself. The reason, you start very early morning in the morning. Even you want to reach at home 9 o'clock, you may start 6 o'clock. You don't want your mother or wife should cook 5 o'clock. So you cannot carry, you should carry your tiffin. Second reason, you cannot carry tiffin. The reason, crowded local train. In Mumbai, it's very difficult to go in local train with empty hand. Taking tiffin is out of the question for you. You cannot carry yourself. So you want Dabbawala in Mumbai to carry your tiffin. We believe that home cooked food is most hygienic food. The reason it have love and affection of your mother and wife. So we want you should eat home cooked food. That is Mumbai Dabala. Friends, these people believe in God, Ganesha, Jnaneshwara. They are Varakari Sampradaya people. These business started before 1890. हिंदी में कहा जाता है हम अंग्रेज जमाने के जेरो तो नहीं है, लेकिन हम अंग्रेज जमाने के डब्बे वाले जरूर है. Because we are delivering from 1890, friends, 1890. In 1891, Dabala one customer, as on today you will see, we are having 5,000 Dabala and 200,000 customers. It means one Dabala can carry 40 tiffins. That is the maximum weight it can carry. That can have 60-65 kg they are carrying. In crowded local trains in Mumbai, friends, they all are average 8 years schooling. All are illiterate. They do not know reading, writing. But suppose they want to deliver tiffin in SSN college, being illiterate, they know this is SSN because tiffin should be delivered in SSN. If your first friend traveling 60 kilometers, 70 kilometers, 8 to 9 hours they believe ownership of 8 to 9 hours, but non 3 hours are volatile. Why?
That's Mumbai Dabbawala. You know the biggest thing in Mumbai Dabbawala is the analytics part of it. Everybody heard of Hadoop? Yeah? Hadoop has two parts, the Hadoop file system, right? And something called MapReduce. Yes? Yes, no? I'm going to ask questions if you don't respond. So, yes, no? Yes, it is, right? But the Mumbai Dabbawala used MapReduce for 100 years before Google could ever find that. Right? Analytics is that important, and Mumbai Dabbawala is one of the first organization invited by Prince Charles, right, who got Sigma 6. Six Sigma. Yes? That's a part of analytics. Today, that what they started about 100 years back, okay, is actually revolutionizing the world, big data, which works on commercial hardware, right? Analytics today have taken many roles. According to Harvard Business Review, an analytics role is supposed to be the sexiest job role in the world, right? The data scientist, the need for professionals in data science in the industry is growing. The 21st century sexiest job is supposed to be a data scientist job, right? The demand at this point outpaces the supply, and that's why the highest salaries in the world today are for data-driven scientists.
Data analysts connect dots. They see patterns, trends, and possibilities in many types of data. The Master of Science in Business Analytics at Michigan State University prepares analysts to gather data, interpret it, and use it to improve, innovate, and gain advantage for organizations. 90% of the world's data has been generated in the last 2 years. The world can't keep up with this amount of data, and the demand for analytical professionals is skyrocketing. By 2020, business analyst jobs are expected to increase by 22%. But the U.S. will have a shortage of 190,000 of these professionals, with up to 1.5 million jobs needing big data management knowledge. Because in every field of work, there's data. In consumer products and services, analysts track habits and preferences and predict consumer needs, leading to designs that work. In healthcare, analysts improve effective treatment through better diagnoses, reduce healthcare expenditures, and promote efficient patient processing. In manufacturing, analysts help find the right people for the right jobs, decrease costs, capture market share, increase profitability. The world needs people who can tell the story of big data and find solutions that lead to better results. Are you in?
I'm not going to show the next video. It's going to be a little long, but I did take permission from Karthik. Karthik is connected with me. He's in Dallas. He is a foremost data scientist and an expert in data. He talks about what a data analyst, a data scientist in an organization as large as AT&T, do in their daily life. I'm a little short of time, right? I'm okay with time? Another 5 minutes is okay? Oh, wonderful. So let's look at this. This is taken with this permission, by the way.
Stream of getting data, looking at data, shaping data, coming up with different approaches, being creative with approaches. What am I going to be looking at today? What kind of questions I'm planning to answer or trying to answer, or should I answer to get to this result? So we start with for every problem that we do have a certain solution approach that we lay down before we start doing the analysis. I have a background in engineering, mechanical, industrial, electrical engineering. So basically a math-heavy background. My PhD is in area of solid-state physics. So that's the area which is used to work in semiconductors. So I used to make chips that go into the cell phone and the cell tower. So basically, I was working on the technology and of making cellular communications happen. So I brought in a math-heavy background that helped me get into data science. Data science requires a lot of imagination, and once you have the imagination, then the next thing you need are the math skills. So the engineering and analysis, repeated analysis that you develop in engineering comes in very handy to do the data analysis. It's just the scale of data. We read a lot. Data scientists read a lot. We have to because a new tool comes out every day. There is a new way to apply a technique to solving a certain problem. So a technique that has previously not been used for a problem gets used suddenly. I compete in data science competitions, global competitions. So through those competitions, I interact a lot with people around the world who are doing data science. So I learn a lot of applying data science to a lot of different problems through platforms like that. Right now, I'm working on a
typically, as this is US data, I don't have India data, so I plug the US data. Just to give you an idea, just a point of reference, I've just taken 3 simple roles in the whole analytics data space: a data scientist, a data architect, and a data engineer. Typically, these are the salaries, average salaries in US for these roles. But what's most important is these are unfilled vacancies in this role, right? The reason is analytics is growing in every phase. Even a small organization like Jabong, or Jabong is not that small, but any small organization that needs to get into competitive business today as a startup, you need to analyze, you need to crunch data to understand what your next level of growth will be, or how to deliver that product much faster than your competitor, right? So data analyst or analytics becomes so important, even in small organizations. That's why the growth of job roles in this field has increased multifold, right? The volume, velocity, variety, the 3 V's of analytics is only going to get bigger. Mobile is going to explode. Developing countries are coming online, and every time they come online, there's a huge deluge of data that they create, needs analysis, needs churning. And Internet of Things is again going to create a new world where analytics is going to be important. That's all I have, right? I just wanted to put a context. I'm sure the next many speakers and the next 3 days is going to be exciting. I just wanted to give you an overview of this is where data analytics and the kind of jobs available. This is what the world is talking about. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the intellectual insights. I request our principal for Dr. P. A. Vasu to hand over a token of certification to sir. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Vinod Kumar Murthy to speak.
Hello. Very good morning. I'm going to take more time. I'm just going to explain that how you should utilize these 3 days and what we are going to cover. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Vasu, Professor Lakshmi, Dr. Manoj, who had just went out. He's vertical head for IT department. Thanks a lot to Sujay for a wonderful presentation and very much insightful. So, I would just like to know from two participants, quick, in 10 seconds you need to tell what you are expecting from this workshop or from this interview. Sir?
Basically, it's need of the hour.
Need of the hour.
So just want to understand what it's like, and maybe this is interesting, and I mean we can take it up as a picture.
Good. Madam? Be seated, be seated.
I'm from Mount Carmel College.
Wonderful.
We have a course in analytics.
Wonderful.
Vocational course in analytics.
Wonderful.
So I'm here with what is happening because we already have a batch which has passed out at the UG level.
Wonderful.
So I presume the level will be much higher here,
Yeah.
but I would at least I have an idea where I can scale down and put it across to my children.
Wonderful. Our office is very nearby to your college, you know.
Where is it, sir?
Say 10 meters away from your college.
Okay.
In front of Shangri-La Hotel, corner building.
Yeah, we are next to Shangri-La.
Yeah. We are towards this side.
Okay.
And near Tata Consultancy Services.
Okay, like
corner
Himalaya
building.
complex.
Yeah, but just near to that, adjacent to that.
We'll definitely visit you, sir.
Yeah, please come there and then.
That was one of the reasons, sir, just to know who are all there and so that we can connect.
Right. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir.
So what we will do, here understand, analytics is huge, starting from A to Z, and in 3 days' time, of course, we cannot cover the entire spectrum. Few things which are very much essential. I would like to tell you that what are those things. First, statistics is very much basics for that. Testing, inferential statistics, we will cover. We need to understand data. So all those methodologies which equip us for understanding our data will be covered. And being a statistician or having some exposure in analysis, we are limited to histograms, box plots, pie chart, bar charts. But recently, very recently, data visualization has become so much popular and so much important that now we cannot ignore. And we need to go beyond histograms, box plots, pie chart and bar charts. And there are two very important technologies or softwares. One is QuickView and one is Tableau. Our expert, Professor Naveen, please stand up. So Professor Naveen is there. Let's give a big round of applause. Professor Naveen is going to take sessions and take you through final details of Tableau. And we expect that you all will become very good. What my request is that these sessions are going to be hand-on sessions, so no lecture body, right? So the resource person will demonstrate on screen and ask you to follow the instructions or ask you to run through the commands, right? And there will be few people who will be around you. If you are finding any difficulty, they will help you. And what we request that, say, these 4 participants are there, and if you have learned the code quickly, and if you are able to execute, and if you see that your neighbors are not, then for saving time, just fail them, right? So that we can save time on queries or for solving hurdles. R is absolutely unavoidable. We are very good in Excel. I believe that if you are in academics or if you have some exposure before, we are good in SPSS also. But we need to learn some method which can handle big data. So Excel is having a limitation, only 10 lakh observations. Data is going to be more than that, we need to learn R. Literature that the learning curve of R is very steep. It is difficult, but my guarantee that after 3 days, everybody will say that you are expert of R. Designing the sequence or the codes or what is to be covered in such a way that in 3 days and with 2 runs of practice, you can claim that you are expert in R. Then the next very popular language is Python. And just 3 years before, Python was not being taught much. But in front of us, in the last 6, 7, or say 8 months, Python has taken second stage. First is R, then Python. We have included this Python in our this program. And I know because most of you have talked to me over phone with regard to this MDP or MDP and wanted to know that what we are going to cover. And majority of you are here because of Python. So we'll cover. Dr. Abhishek, I request you to please stand. Dr. Abhishek, please welcome him. And there is one other reason which is very good. We should be given a big round of applause. And the reason is just 2 days before he got his doctorate. So he is going to be a resource person for Python. Then Professor Rajat. Professor Rajat is a statistician, wonderful person. He's going to be welcome. Earlier he was working in an analytics company in Gurgaon. He joined us a year back. A wonderful statistician, master of art, master of Python. And Hadoop, big data, HDFS commands, big, high, and we need to address that also. Third day, by then you will have a very good understanding of basics. R will be under your control. Python, you will become familiar with Python. Then last day, post lunch, I will take some sessions. Rajat, my session, 3-hour session. So they have given 3 hours to me, and then I will explain you HDFS commands, in Latin language, and Hive, and how to R with Hadoop, right? So this is the way we will move. These are the topics broadly, and this is the pedagogy or the approach we will. So open your laptops, right? We are really having very less time, and then we should move on. The first session is about Tableau. Let's welcome Professor Naveen, and let's start the session. I wish you all the best and a very happy learning. Thank you very much.
I would like to introduce Professor Naveen Kumar. Professor Naveen Kumar is a senior faculty in INHR. Sir did his BPM at St. Philomena College, Dublin, PGDM in Finance in Alliance University Academy, Bangalore. Plus worked in a corporate sector for 8.5 years. He worked as a process associate in FPL and market analyst in Reuters for 2 years and team manager in Dutch Bank for 4 years and 2 years respectively. He was teaching spreadsheet modeling and financial subjects in Alliance University for 3.5 years. Sir is currently teaching data visualization, financial modeling, MS Excel, business finance, and spreadsheet modeling in Jain University from the year 2000. I welcome you, sir.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Shloka. Kshanashah karchayva vidyamartham cha sadhayet. Say that. One has to earn bit by bit and learn. Every moment one has to learn in moment every pieces. But one has to earn in small quantity. Okay? This is a starting point, and I'm going to cover data visualization. Let us check where do we fit in first in terms of data visualization in business analytics. Let's understand this with a few quotes. All above all else show the data. Okay, you do many things. After all, you have to show this. Okay, whatever you do doesn't matter unless you show it. This value of a picture is when it forces us to notice what we have never expected to see. Something unexpected, something beyond in the picture rather than just data. Numbers have an important story to tell. They rely on you to give them a clear and convincing voice. This was quoted by Stephen Few. Have you heard about Stephen Few? He is the author of the first book in data visualization. It's very famous. It's a world famous book. Is it better now?
Yeah.
A lot. We learned a lot about data science in the previous session. And where data visualization fits in data science. This picture, data import, data cleansing, manipulation of data, modeling data, and finally visualization. Visualization is very, very important to make every aspect in data science more effective. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Do you agree with this? To picturize our analysis is believing. You hear, you read, you do whatever. Finally, you will have to see what was done or what is going to be done. A picture is equivalent to 1,000 words. You read a book or you read 10 books, that would be equivalent to one picture. One picture may be equivalent to 1,000 words. It refers to that a common idea can that an change of the subject, this was my creation. Already won the, how much was spent using tablet? Please have a look at this. Spent. How much each candidate spent for the election. Okay, these are the top 5 candidates who spent. Stands last among the top 5. Can you see this? And Tableau has a speciality, and I used Excel as well for this. For each of these circles, I could attach their photos to make it more effective. Isn't it effective? About Tableau, you will understand. First of all, how to pronounce this. People wrongly pronounce this as table AU, which is incorrect. Okay, it is pronounced as Tableau, okay, or Tableau. There are 2 ways of pronouncing it. Tableau or Tableau. 2 are the ways of pronouncing. And what does it mean after all? Mean for this. The meaning of Tableau? Is it an English word? No. It is not. French word. French language. It's not an English word. We add it within 1 or 2 years. Tableau Software is a software company in USA which produces interactive data visualization products focused on business intelligence. It initially began at Stanford University between 1999 and 2002, before 15 years. It was founded in January 2003 by Chris Stolt, and it uses other query languages as well in it. Can you see behind the plus symbols with color? That is Tableau symbol. If you already got Can we begin? See this screen when you click on that button?
Yes. Yes.
She's educated. Okay. Let us understand this by taking up an example. Let's have it hands-on training. Let us have this data, superstore analysis, customer and product. How many of you have this data already? Please check it. Data for Tableau was a folder. That folder you will have this file, superstore analysis. Yes. Sample superstore. Do you have this file, everyone?
Yes.
You can open it to check. Please open the file and have a look at it. And it has 990, I would say 9,995 rows and 26 columns. As a whole, you can see 2,59,870 values. Am I right? If you select all the values, you will see this much. So definitely it's huge. It's not a small file. It may take a while to open it as well, and it completely depends on your system speed. Solution is by using Tableau. Please open Tableau, everyone, and I clearly mention the steps one by one what you need to do. Please follow these steps. Any point of time, if you need my help, you can raise your hand. I'll be there at your place immediately. Who needs my help? You don't have to. It's okay. Yes. You just have to follow the steps. Basically, you are uploading a file into Tableau. Are you doing it? Yes. Go to file, follow these steps. File, open, select the file. Open. I will have to save the file. Save the file first. The particular page. File. That's my setup. You already did it. Sorry, have you followed this steps? So go to this. You already uploaded. Go to sheet 1. Yes, you have it. You already did it. You're on top. Now, I want to get, rather I should see this. Isn't it nice to see this? How many of you like it? Okay. See, what we can see is different products, okay, with profit mentioned in each of them. How to prepare this? Please drag and drop product name to columns and profit to rows. How many of you did it? Or how many of you do it or doing it?
While doing it, it says there is a limit.
Just say okay. That's okay. Just say okay.
Filter and then
Click on okay. Product. What does it say? Product name, right? Product name is this. To call. Okay. Gets added. Now, profit to rows. Drag and drop profit to rows. Now, you just have to click on this. Did you do it? How many of you did it? How many of you need my help? Okay. I will come there. Columns. Columns. Can you see columns? Just a little bubble chart based on this size. No. Go to plus. I no, not that. The other one. This one. That's that. No. Get my click on that. Okay, now product name to all except all and profit. Add all members and profit. Profit comes down. Measures. Profit. That's it. Yeah. Drag and drop it into rows. Okay. Done it. Now you will have different charts which can be prepared. You need to click on this. Click on this. Click on this. Yes. I will. That's better. I will demonstrate it on my screen so that everyone can follow that. Arun is not getting charged. Now select this person.
formats. In Excel,
I will demonstrate it now. Please, hello, please observe what I'm doing. It's taking some more time, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. It's getting uploaded. Yes.
one question.
Yes.
I'm trying to do it in Excel the way I've done it so far.
Yes, absolutely.
So just to see.
Yeah.
So there are several Canon products listed. So is this a subtotal of all the Canon?
Absolutely. That's correct. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You can segregate it depending on different products as well. There is a possibility of doing that. Okay, I will come to that. There's a new feature introduced in the tablet. I will discuss about that.
But this is obviously far more efficient.
Yes, it is. Good question. Actually, there is a software behind it which does all these computations. Yes, algorithm specifically. An algorithm is used for that.
Based on usage of
Right. Exactly. You're right.